Hi students, welcome back to Foundations of Teacher Education and your ePortfolio videos as continued. This is the spring video. I'm going to go over quickly what should be in it so far and then what should be in it at the end of your spring semester. Here is your home page. It should have at least a picture of yourself, your intro about your schooling, then a brief about yourself. At the bottom, your contact information, your home page, then your program outcomes and Wisconsin standards in education, a course description tab. Each one of these courses needs to be in it. You do not need to put in your courses for your general studies like business math or speech, just the ones for your program, whether you're in the Educational Assistance Program or the Foundations of Teacher Education program. Next tab is going to be teaching in the contact areas. You should have all of these if you're in the Foundations of Teacher Education program. If you're not, if you're in the Educational Assistance Program, you're not going to have language arts or math. Under special education, you're going to need supporting students with special health needs, overview of special education, supporting students with special disabilities. You're going to need child and adolescent development, behavior management, service learning, honors and awards, and then your professional development. Each one of those tabs are going to have something different in it, but let's go over what you should have in it for the end of fall and end of or beginning of spring. You should have, if you have taking child, adolescent, and development in high school, all you need is your tab with your title. You can put a picture, something that represents child development, like the growth chart of children, and just put in as a placeholder that you took it in high school, roughly what year. Like, for example, I took child adolescence during my junior year, 2020 of high school. And that's all you'd have to really write. Just something stating that you took it in high school and just a picture for a visual. The next thing you should have in, this class, if you didn't take it in high school, you should have roughly your learning game, positive growth mindset activity, and your final presentation piece, your child development piece. Also, you should have at the beginning of spring, you should have your service learning piece in that you did with your group. And then if you were on the presence list, I recommend you putting in a placeholder of the picture of your letter and then briefly stating that you're on it, and then just keep adding the semesters that you're on it, but always keeping that picture updated with the most current semester, as you can see here. For spring, though, all you should have in, this is the middle after your first semester, that's what you should have. The second semester, these are the classes you'll be taking for your e-portfolio. The only one you won't need in it is your business math. But let's get into what you should have for science, special health needs. Let's go to science. You should have a piece for safety requirements. These assignments are just recommendations, not required. You are required to have 2 to 3 assignments in and all DPI trainings. But this is a recommendation. I would put in your safety requirements, your infograph that was the inquiry process, and then for math, or for science, your science project so you can play your video later and have a brief description. If you use your video in it, make sure in your description or your reflection you put your reference on how you got the video or ideal or science experiment. Mine was through a science link, as you see. Next, we should go to supporting students with special health needs. You should have a few assignments in this class. My recommendation is the roles and responsibilities in a school setting. Your medical fragile condition student, your egg child, you can use that as a placement picture, your egg student. Give a brief description about the condition and why medically fragile condition students are so important and how they're not actually labeled as special education students. Or you can use your infograph as a placeholder, just ideals. But you will have to put in your DPI training for mental health and then student records and confidentiality. And then when you do that, just take a picture of the screen as a place value holder for your ePortfolio, and then just like a brief description that you completed it on and what date. Don't forget to mention the title of the DPI training and the description if it's not clear on the picture. For a practicum, which would be under professional develop, you should put in your goals for practicum 1. You'll have another assignment you can put in. I did one on a TED Talk. And then at the end of practicum 1, you should be placing in your teacher evaluation. This is the evaluation your cooperating teacher gives you at the end of your 72 hours. Now that we've gone over what should be at the middle of spring semester, let's go over what should be in it at the end of your spring semester. You should have reading. You need to have a piece titled Reading Teacher's Resource. This will be a combination of different assignments that you've learned or made for teaching students, word analysis skills, wall charts, read alouds, anchor charts, and so forth. Just give a brief description of the assignment and why it's so important. Another piece I put in was bias books. It's an infograph on bias books. Remember, these are just recommendations. You don't have to place these assignments, but you do have to place the DPI trainings. I did an infograph on a read aloud. Why is it important? Why should we do them? The next subject will be social studies. You'll learn the college career and civic life, or the 3 C's framed for social studies state standards. You'll do a lesson on that. That is a recommendation. We did a group lesson on behavioral science and anthropology. This is something you can put in. This was done as a lesson plan as a team. Remember, you have to have 2 to 3 for each subject and all DPI trainings. You will have to have this DPI training in for social studies. This DPI, and just have your completion date, and you can just do a screenshot of the completion date. I put in a little slide of the different information I learned. After social studies, the last thing, again, is just your practicum. Practicum goals for one assignment, and then your teacher evaluation. You do not have to put in your 72-hour worksheet where you sign in and out. And you do not have to go in great lengths on your reflection. That's all I have for spring. I'll see you guys in the summer.